Longer Ray 5 laser. Why is it sitting here upside down? Well, I bought the air assist kit for it, and we're going to put it in, and it comes with 0 directions. So you got to kind of figure it out on your own. I didn't find anything on their website either about it. So if you've decided to purchase this for your Longer Ray 5 laser, this might help you out. We'll get into it coming up. I'm Roger, welcome to the shop, and as I mentioned, I bought the air assist kit for this. Normally I make my own air assist. I've done it on a couple of my other lasers. I thought, well, they have a kit here, it's reasonable in price. I think it was $89, includes the air pump. And so what do you get in this box? This came from China. Literally shipped from China. Okay, I took the styrofoam top off, it's well packed. So you have a pump in here. I don't know how loud this will be, we will find out. It says right on the front, air pump. Makes sense. Oh, it says it on the top too, in case you're confused. And it does come with the 120 volt cord on it, so that's a good thing. Then you get a little bag of parts. So in here is an air valve. Some tubing that is really folded up. You get the little nozzle for the air assist that goes on the laser head. That's why this is upside down. You get a fitting here. Like I said, this hose is really folded up. I may use different, we'll see how that is after I unwrap it, if it'll straighten out or not. Might take it out in the sun, except now it's just clouded up. And we have an air valve to adjust the airflow. It's a good thing to have. So I'll get you zoomed in here close. I'll show you what we're going to have to do. Putting this on the laser lens is going to require some disassembly here. Well, one big plus is once you cut off that zip tie that's holding this tubing together, there's no kinks in it at all. It just straightens right out. It's stretchy. It's like surgical tubing. Okay, to put this on, here's the nozzle here, and it comes with a little silicone washer that will go around up here at this end and compress. What we need to do first is we have to take off the guard. You'll need hex wrench, I call them alien wrenches, 2 M&Ms. There's a screw on each side. And don't lose them, because you're going to need to put those back. And this just slips off, and it'd be a good time to clean this too, since you got it off of there, and I'll do that before I put it back on, because I've used this laser a lot. Then you'll find there's 2 more screws that hold this air deflector, guard, diverter, whatever you want to call it. It's also 2 M&Ms. You need to take those screws out. 1 on each side. And that allows you to remove this. And while that's all off, would be a good time to clean your lens. A little bit of alcohol on a swab pad is all it really takes, and I'm going to go get that since I have this all apart. I keep alcohol in one of these little Dollar Tree pump thingies, and using a blue shop towel here. Get a little bit of alcohol on that. I use blue shop towels because they don't leave any lint behind. And we'll just get down in there, and yeah, that was a bit dirty. And we'll take the other end of it here and dry that off. You can unscrew this if you like. Actually, I'll give you an example here. Long-winded. Oh, there we go. That'll give you even better access to the lens. Don't use anything abrasive on it. You don't want to scratch that. So let me screw this back on. And while I'm at it, I'm going to clean my little guard here because that's pretty dirty. Get that shield cleaned up again. Okay, now we'll get back to this guy. So the 2 screws you took out for this, you won't be using this now because there would be no way to route your air tubing out. And this nozzle here would get in the way. So in order to not lose these screws, I'm just going to put them right back in where they came out of. So now the nozzle here, this is pretty straightforward. Little silicone washer on there, and that threads into there. And we're going to figure out where we want that air hose to run here, because it can't, you don't want to run it straight up the back here, because that'll get in the way when you focus, because that's where you put your focus post. So I'm going to just off to one side of that a little bit, and then I'll be able to put my shield back on and still have good access to putting the hose on there. Actually, I need to put it on right side up. Don't over tighten these or you may crack the acrylic. You want to just snug. So now we have to figure out how we're going to route this air hose. Okay, I am going to put my air hose on here. It slips right on. And then I'm going to run it out the side over here. And then up like so. I'll get me some zip ties. You gotta leave yourself a little slack on the other side there so you can run your focus up and down. Don't make this super tight. Yeah, I think I'm going to add an Airline guide here. I don't know which one of these is going to work. Someone's thicker than the other. And that'll mount right here, and the Airline can pass through it. A couple different ones with different thicknesses. Will both work on there. Just need to take out these screws at the top carefully. I'm hoping that the black one is not too thick to work here, because it has a split opening on it. This was made on a 3D printer. Actually, it was made on a longer 3D printer. Yeah, that'll work just fine. You're tightening these screws back up, don't get wild with it or you'll break something. Now that can just slip right in there like so. Now I'll get me some zip ties. Okay, now you don't want to get crazy when you're putting these zip ties on, or you'll smash your Airline. And you need to make sure you leave enough slack in this so that when your head travels on the x-axis all the way over, like so, the line will move with it. So I'll be using a few of these on here. This here is also a 3D printed part I made to keep the cable up out of the way. You don't have to have that, it's just kind of one of my OCD things. And I'll give this a little one around here. Not too tight though. You don't want to put a kink or a crimp in that, or it won't work very well. Then you can just go back through and cut the tails off. Normally I would use a tie wrap gun, which is an electrician's tool, but that would pull these too tight for that air hose. I don't like cutting them this way because it always leaves a sharp edge there. But no choice here. Okay, with that done, I guess it's time to put this thing back on the board and get the air pump hooked up to it, and we'll see how this performs. Good to see just exactly how loud this air pump is, because some of these can be screaming loud and then jump and walk all over the place. I've been pretty picky about my air pumps I've purchased in the past, so see what this sounds like. It's actually not too bad. I'll get down here close to it. Hear the hum of it there. It's not too bad when I'm standing up. It's not obnoxious. It's not walking all over the table. So far so good. Puts out a pretty good little stream of air there. There's no switch on it though. You have to plug it in and unplug it, or put your own kind of switch or something on there. So now I need to get my little air valve hooked up in here. I think I'll just cut a piece of this up close. This has no direction on it. Whoops. no specific direction of flow. See how well this grabs this tubing. Yeah, it grabs it pretty good. Well, I don't need a real long piece there, so I'm going to keep it fairly close. Yeah, we'll just cut it about yay. And then this will fit into that fitting on there. Well, I may have to get a different type of airline for that there. I got a little bit different airline here that I had. See if it grabs that better. Oh yeah, much better. Well, since I got all this extra here now, I guess I'll just make my line longer. I'll leave it long, that way I can put the air pump away from this if I need to. It fits right in there like that, good. And I need to cut that straight again. Yep, bite's good there. Now I can put my pump farther away from the laser. And I guess they just give you an extra fitting here. So I'll get things cleaned up here and get this laser booted. I also bought the Honeycomb board that they offer. And it comes with a plate that goes underneath it, and of course it's got a bent corner, but that's not a big deal. And you probably should remove this plastic covering from it, because that would probably just smell once it got hot. And this goes underneath this to protect the spoil board. Okay, what I'm going to be cutting on here is a piece of 3mm plywood. So I need to get my focus set. Of course the head's way too low to even pass over that right now. My focus spacer set in place. Put anything any thicker on here, I'm either going to have to raise the laser or raise the slide up. Get that set about center. And try to get things somewhat square here to the world. I have the air pump plugged in and I can't even hear it now. Of course I don't hear all that well anyway, but it's sitting over here running. And I can hear the air coming out of the nozzle here, but I don't hear anything from the air pump. Now I need to get my computer over here, because I don't have a file on an SD card set up for this. So if you're getting all set up to do something and can't figure out why your laser doesn't come on, make sure that's plugged in. And what I've got here is a piece of, again, 3mm plywood. I got the air assist on. This is a cowl. At first it's going to engrave a little bit of a line with some decorations on it. And then the second layer is the actual cut. And I've got that set at 250 millimeters per minute, 100% power, which is what I have used on 3mm plywood before when making little gears and cogs. So that should work. Should frame this to make sure I'm where I need to be there. Everything appears to be good. Let's start. I can see by the reflection off the base plate that is cutting through. And from what I can see of the graphics so far, I am very impressed. There's absolutely no scorching on top. Yeah, I forgot to do my other little graphics. I'll add that in here now. Just some little decorations. We have to have a spotted cow. And there we have it. We'll take this, there's the back side. There's no scorching at all on this. It's just absolutely perfect. And even the little fine line here, which I was wondering about, because that could be a little tough when you get a little tiny opening like that. So there's my cow. I think we'll do something else here now, just to kind of demonstrate this a little better. Okay, what I'm going to be making next is one of these little teepees here, and this is one that was cut on one of my other lasers. And as you can see, there's pretty good scorching on it. And I didn't do all of the little frills and fancy things that are actually on this graphic, but I am going to do them on this one. So I need to frame this first to make sure we're all in the where we need to be. Okay, this is doing an engrave first. It's engraving all the little fine details, and then it will do the cut. So here's our teepee, and you can see there's a lot of fine detail up there, and it just comes right out and there is no scorching. So I am really impressed with this. Really impressed. Yeah, that's kind of fragile, but if this was glued onto something, which is what the intent is to use it for. This is 4mm plywood, and you can get these shapes at Dollar Tree for $1 or $1.25, depending on which Dollar Tree you go to. And it's a fun little thing to do practice with, or you need to cut some shapes, or you want to go out and buy a whole sheet of plywood. Craft store, this stuff is kind of expensive when you start buying the squares of it. So what I'm going to try to do first here is use the same setting I used on the 3mm plywood in one pass, and see if that works. If it doesn't, we'll do 2 passes. So I'll frame this first. Sure, I'm going to be on my board this time. And I am, and yes, I did change the focus since I went to a thicker wood. Well, we'll see how we did here. Appears to have cut through all the way. You gotta be careful here with these little antlers. That's kind of fragile up there. So that's pretty fine detail there when you get into little antlers like that. And again, no scorching. A little bit on the back here, but well, that's the back. So as you can see, this makes absolutely perfect cutouts. I don't do a whole lot of cutting with my lasers. We usually just do engraving, but every once in a while I'll have someone that wants something made or something cut out. And as you can see here, with this air assist package and Honeycomb Board that Longer offers for their laser, it works just absolutely perfect. And the other plus is that air pump is not loud. It's right here and it's still running. And it gets a little warm, but not hot. So, and it doesn't vibrate and walk all over the table like some of the air pumps I've seen. So yes, I'm very impressed with this. Did Longer give me these things? No, they didn't. I bought them. I wanted to upgrade this laser and add these features to it. I've been using this for a lot of different projects. If you'd like to get one for yourself, there's a lot of information in the description, along with a discount code I believe they're offering right now. The accessories, you can go onto their website. That's This air assist kit and the Honeycomb board are under the accessories. One thing you will notice though, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this, there are no directions with that air assist kit. So hopefully this guides you through there if you buy one. It's not hard to put on, but if you're not familiar with working with lasers and doing all these little mechanical type things, you might have a little bit of a struggle with it. The only thing I found was the fitting on the air pump did not hold the black hose that came with the kit. But this other hose I have that I use on some other lasers fit it just fine. It fit the valve just fine. Where do I have the valve set? I'm running it wide open. So I'm not throttling anything down. I'm giving it the all. And it's working out real well. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. Roger in the shop. Air Assist, Longer Ray 5 laser. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.